of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Happy Monday, everybody. Anything going on? Anything happening again?
It's going to be a long show.
All right. Coming up on the show today, there's been a second assassination attempt. Maybe this one will stay in the news cycle for more than like one day. We'll see, I guess. Kamala's had a disastrous solo interview without her emotional support running mate. JD Vance keeps slaying this time on the Sunday shows. And Trump wants you to know that he hates Taylor Swift. All that and so much more coming up on today's show. Make sure that you're subscribed and you've clicked all the things, chicksontheright.com/links. Also, we have a survey so you guys can give us feedback and tell us how we're doing and how we can make your day better and the show better and all the things. Where can they find that, Mock? It's like in our bio.
Well, right now, if they're watching on YouTube, they can see it in the description below, but then we'll be teasing that out on all of our socials, and there will be a link in our bios. There may already be a link in our bios by now, so you can find it there, but we'll also be pushing it out.
Right. And hopefully there's a question about how Mock no longer has a shelf behind her.
And people are going to be like, I'm sorry, but I cannot deal with that background.
It's too plain back there. It's too plain.
You guys, I was informed by the realtor who is preparing this house for sale that I have to declutter. And so I did.
It's decluttered. She is done decluttered, you guys.
It had to be done. It had to be done. It's going to be a long show. Did I mention that? It's going to be probably
a long show.
Bit of a long show.
A lot going on.
And we're just going to get to some like random things. But for obviously the big story of the day is the second attempt on Trump's life. But we're going to go in a bit of a chronological order of the weekend and start off with Kamala's horrible interview because that happened first. And so we'll get to that as soon as we get through some random headlines and some thank yous to Judy Flood, who says, "Good morning, chicks. Today is my birthday and I am 78 years young. Happy birthday, Judy."
Happy birthday to you.
And then also from last Friday, this was from the Ball Pit crew over on Rumble. Rebel Queen 1965 said she is a plant. She will sabotage him. I can only assume that was from our discussion about Laura Loomer. I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of. Because again, now we're missing the context since it's been a few days.
Right. That makes sense.
So that was one that we got. There was another from Rebel Queen also who said, did they break down the registration to Dems versus Republicans? I want to believe our side showed up too. That was in response to Taylor Swift, telling everybody to register to vote after she endorsed Kamala. And then there was this flood of new registrations. And no, I don't know that there was a breakdown from that. So I don't know that we can.
But you're right. It could have been a lot of Republicans too.
We don't know. We just don't know. Yep. And then from Kim Lee, this was in response to, I think what we did for, what did we do for our schlong?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Not Dee Dee, but schlong. Yes. Yeah. It was about kids and the general parenting stuff and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, that's right. So she said, go outside, play in the mud puddles and ride bikes, get off their phones, video games, etc. Move your body. It will help with mental health. And of course, that's absolutely true.
Agreed.
This last Friday was when Matt Walsh's Am I Racist movie came out. I have not had a chance to see that, but apparently there were shenanigans at some of the movie theaters. In fact, one, this was from Prime Cinemas. They said they'd gotten a strong reaction from people who were mad that they were going to show the movie. And so they said, the safety of our staff is our number one priority. So we're not going to show the film. They're just not going to show it.
These people hate free speech.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It's a freaking movie.
My God.
I know, right?
Don't see it. No one is dragging you to the theater to see it. Just don't see it.
No, just don't go. God, what is wrong with these people?
It's just crazy. I mean, that is just freaking crazy.
Yeah.
What's also crazy is this entire election season, as I know you know, and we're already getting the warnings. New York Times released an article about what to expect from the elections, and they're basically saying there won't be an immediate winner on election night, and early results could misleadingly suggest a Trump victory.
Here we go.
However, this isn't necessarily a sign of flaws in the process, but rather the result of stronger security measures needed for counting mail-in ballots to protect democracy.
Right. Who believes this? Raise their hand.
Why is every other country able to do this in a day?
Right. Well, why were we able to do it eons ago? We were able to do it back in the day, and now all of a sudden we can't? Because Trump is running. Just stop it.
I know. It just makes me so freaking
stupid.
Mad. So mad. And then also in gossip news, this happened over the weekend, and I was like, "Wizza, what's up?" But there was a headline that said Donald Trump Jr. was caught kissing a whole other person that was not Kimberly Guilfoyle.
They were I read the article because I was like so interested in this, and they were in a very dark restaurant, and they said that she acted as if this wasn't the first time that they've done this.
They were canoodling.
Yeah. And she was like, "Oh, you don't he ordered something." She goes, "You don't usually order that." Yeah.
So this is her, not obviously.
Yeah. She's adorable. Actually. She's really cute. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I have a theory on this though. Listen,
you do?
Yeah, I do. And you don't, because here's the thing. They're not married.
They've been engaged for like 6 years, but they're not married.
But when you're older, like crap or get off the pot. That's how I feel about that. It's just how I feel. Because my husband and I got married a little older, and I feel like if you either know or you don't know. You know what I mean? Like you know. And so just get married or don't. That's how I feel about that. Like I feel like if you're dragging your feet on getting married, you probably don't want to get married.
Yeah. I mean, what's the point of being engaged for years?
There is no point, especially.
I feel like they can afford a wedding or whatever it is that they want to do to celebrate.
Exactly.
That was.
You crap or get off the pot.
I mean, so anyway, that was sort of from the gossip headlines this weekend. I did not see that coming. And I also did not see necessarily what came from Ruff Greens, and that is their Ruff Greens for cats, otherwise referred to as Meow Greens. This, of course, the brainchild of naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, who now has Meow Greens. It's a supplement. It's an easy way to give your cats the nutrition that they need for their skin, for their coats, for their immune system, for their digestive systems. And it all comes when you get this little packet of Meow Greens. It's filled with these little individual pre-measured scoopable thingies that you just throw right on top of your cat's kibble, and they love it. They love it just like the dogs love the Ruff Greens. It is phenomenally good for them. It helps extend their lives. I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that. And if you go to ruffchicks.com, you can get a free Jumpstart trial bag of either Ruff Greens for dogs or the Meow Greens for cats. You would just go, like when you go to the ruffchicks.com, there's tabs at the top that say either for dogs or for cats, and you just pick your animal, and then you'll get the right Jumpstart trial bag. You will love it. It's phenomenal. You'll see a difference in your animal's coats, their breath. If that's an issue, you will also notice a difference in that. It's phenomenal stuff. Visit ruffchicks.com, RUFF chicks.com to get that free Jumpstart trial bag of either the Ruff Greens for dogs or the Meow Greens for cats.
And you know what? I honestly, Astrid lost 20 pounds this year. And I think it's in part because we give her that.
Look at that. Look at her.
Yeah. I mean, she's not svelte by any means. She's still a little portly, but she had to lose some weight. And I think it's because of that, because it helped her digestive system and all that kind of stuff. I really do think that that's part of the reason that she's lost a little weight. So I'm just putting that out there. If you have an overweight dog, it helps with all that stuff,
That's awesome. I mean, that's one of many zillions of great testimonials about what that can do for your pets. Okay, somebody mentioned that they were upset by the light switch. I don't like it either. I understand now that it's very visible. I'll see
You
what
gotta
I can do
move
about
it.
moving.
You got to move the light switch. You got to move it.
I mean, I don't know that I can do a whole lot. Maybe I can, like, can I tilt? How about that? Is
Yes,
that
there you
better?
go. Now you see
Is
the
that
dog
better?
cage, which I think is way better.
Okay.
Mhm.
Also, big news about a potential whistleblower from ABC coming out to talk about the debate and how completely rigged it was for Kamala. And apparently, this whistleblower, who has signed a sworn affidavit, says that Harris's campaign demanded the live fact checking of Donald Trump, because what they didn't want was what happened to Joe Biden in his debate with Trump, and for Trump to just be able to say things and then Biden just was how he was. I don't know why they were afraid that that was going to happen to Kamala, but they did ask for live fact checking. And then they also apparently asked, don't fact check us in the process, only fact check our opponent. This whistleblower sent the affidavit to Speaker Mike Johnson, and they say that they have secret recordings from within the walls of ABC proving that they rigged the debate.
Of course. I mean, it's like anybody with half a brain knows this is true. And
This
I
would be
guarantee she got the
interesting.
questions in advance. Without question, she did. She knew exactly what they were going to ask. They had everything scripted and rehearsed. God, everything. Everything is a script for these people. Everything is a
real.
skit. It is a total skit, as evidenced by the interview that she had on Friday.
Oh yeah, and that, oh my God, we'll get to some of that because
So
it
bad.
was such a disaster for her and such a
So bad.
reminder of what a
Mhm.
loser she is.
Oh my God.
And speaking of losers, Keith Olbermann has like an obsession with Riley Gaines that has gotten really out of control. So
Yes,
he's constantly tweeting at her, and
Uh-huh.
it's super weird. And so she got him so good. I just loved her response to one of the things that he tweeted to her. He said something about how she's a mediocre swimmer, a sufferer of delusions of grandeur, future shitty parent. And she wrote back, when Tim Walz says men use tampons, he's explicitly referring to Keith Olbermann.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
And I just
God,
thought that is perfect.
He is such a baby.
Yeah.
Like he's so threatened by her.
Right? I mean,
Mhm.
it's constant. That's just one example. He tweets at her all the
Constantly.
time.
He's obsessed with her. Yeah, he's that guy that, you know, he asked a girl to prom, like he thinks that girl is so pretty and everything, and the girl's like, no. And then he just obsesses, and he just zones in on her and obsesses. He's that guy.
He's that guy. I mean, it's creepy. He's creepy. He's so,
oh God,
so
he is
creepy.
Beyond creepy.
Ah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this interview that happened on Friday. This was, I will say that the ABC guy that interviewed her, he had no pushback, no follow-up questions whatsoever. So he was a big fat loser. But first,
surprise!
Yeah, exactly. But before we get to any of that, you have to hear JD Vance talking about how absolutely incapable Kamala is.
Kamala Harris is not a capable human being. Like, do you really want, in the midst of a high-pressure conflict, her negotiating with Xi Jinping about Taiwan? Or do you want her over there in Moscow or Kiev negotiating with the Russians, with Vladimir Putin about the peace settlement in Ukraine? This is scary, scary stuff. And you're talking about a person like Kamala Harris who can't even answer a simple question without retreating into slogans and talking points. What about when the cameras are off and she's in a private room with world leaders? That's scary, scary stuff. And that's maybe what worries me about more than any of her domestic policies is what happens if the shit hits the fan? I don't think Kamala Harris can handle it.
Oh my God, he is 1,000% correct.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know it when you start listening to her when she's unscripted, of course. And so this interview that she did with ABC was just a huge, big fat fail. And the very first question is about, give me specifics on what you would do to lower prices, help out Americans with the economy that they're facing right now. You can tell she needs a script because her answer is literally word for word what she said in the debate.
Yep.
This clip runs a little long because you have to hear how long it takes her to get to anything resembling a tiny bit of policy.
I want to know more about you and about your specific plans. At the debate the other night, you talked about creating an opportunity economy. I wonder if we can drill down on that a little bit. When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid.
Oh my God.
My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager.
No one gives a shit.
I grew up in a community of hardworking people, you know, construction workers and
Oh my God.
nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, you know, but a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn.
What is happening?
And I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity. And that we as Americans have a beautiful character. You know, we have
what's going on?
ambitions and aspirations and dreams. But not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions.
Oh my God, we're so screwed.
When I talk about building an opportunity economy,
Here we go.
It is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business.
Oh.
Okay, here we go.
My
How?
mother, you know, worked long hours, and our neighbor helped raise us. We used to call her, I still call her, our second mother. She was a small business owner.
Oh my God.
I love our small business owners. I learned who they are from my childhood, and she was a community leader. She hired locally. She mentored. Our small businesses are so
I
much
can't
part of the
with this
fabric of our
biatch.
communities.
How?
It's coming. It's
Really,
coming.
I think the backbone of America's economy. So my opportunity economy
Here
plan
it is.
includes giving startups a $50,000 tax deduction to start their small business. It used to be $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000. But investing in people's innovative ideas and giving them the ability to go for it. Opportunity economy means, look, we don't have enough housing in America. We have a housing supply shortage. And what that means, in particular for so many younger Americans, the American dream is elusive. It's just actually not attainable. So part of my plan is to work with the private sector and housing developers to give them a tax credit, to be able to partner with us as the government, to build, and my goal is 3 million new homes by the end of my first term. In addition,
That'll work out great.
to help people who just want to get their foot in the door, literally. And so giving first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment assistance.
Oh my God. So it took her, what was that, like 5 minutes? We sat and endured that bull crap, all that. She was my second mother, my mother. We don't care. Just tell us what you're going to do, right? For her to say, we're going to basically gouge the American taxpayer and have them pay other people who don't deserve this money. We're going to give them money. We're going to give people $25,000 for a down payment on a home when people who can't afford that are going to give that. It's kind of like we're going to pay your school loans garbage. That's what I heard.
And the nonsense about the $50,000 tax credit for small businesses is not going to help anyone start a business.
No.
Because you need actual money to start a business. Getting a tax credit the year after is
not going to help you.
helpful.
No.
People can't afford to start small businesses right now.
Right.
That's the problem.
Right. It's not going to incentivize anybody to do that. But it's just like, it's more, hey, we're going to give you free crap. I'm going to give you free crap. Nothing is free, Kamala. It all comes from us. It's not coming from you, sweetheart. It's coming from us. So congratulations for doing the exact same thing that every Democrat has done in every campaign cycle, which is promise free shit.
It's all they ever do.
That's
It's
all they do. That's
ever
all
do.
they do. It's the same song and dance. And after she dances and sings for 5 minutes. Oh my God.
I know we told you about this last week, but very, very excited to have a new sponsor on board with us. And it is the folks at NativePath Hydrate. So if you are a person who relies on, or you just don't like to drink water, plain old water, you rely on something to flavor it up. I know that's
I'm the problem. I'm the problem. It's me.
Same. I also need some flavor. And the great thing about Native Hydrate compared to other similar like things that you think of as hydration drinks, like a Gatorade, for example, is it doesn't have all the yucky sugars. So this has a natural 0-calorie sweetener. They use pure stevia extract. And then they have 3 different flavors. They've got this peach mango, which I adore. They have tangerine, which is probably my favorite. And then they have the mixed berry, which is now my husband's favorite. So that's what he's been drinking. And this gives you all of the branched chain amino acids that you need to keep you super extra hydrated. 75% of Americans are dehydrated. And when you supplement with electrolytes like sodium, potassium, magnesium, that's what helps you restore your hydration, your energy, your overall health. This stuff tastes yummy.
It's also teenager athlete approved.
Ooh, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yep. They like it. She doesn't like water either, and she loves this stuff. Yeah.
This, I mean, is so much better than other.
Oh my God. It's way better than a Gatorade. Yeah.
Way better. So good. And when you go to nativehydrate.com/chicks, you can save up to 44% off. Plus you get free shipping. So make sure to use that website address, nativehydrate.com. One of these lasts for 30 days. So you've got plenty in here to last you for the whole month, and it's delicious. So you may not have enough for the whole month if you drink as much of it as I do.
I know. I was going to say, I'll have like 2 or 3 of those a day.
Yeah. I mean, because it's so good. So nativehydrate.com/chicks. We have a little bit of reaction to the interview that Kamala did. This is Pat Ruffini. He's a political analyst from Fox, and he says it like it is.
Here it is, this big opportunity for Vice President Kamala Harris to knock the first big single interview out of the park and kind of put those naysayers aside that say she just does nothing but answer questions with word salads. And then we ask, this local reporter says, we need specifics. It's kind of sad that here we are, weeks and weeks and weeks into this campaign, and we're still begging for the specifics. And you get this long-winded answer from Vice President Kamala Harris going in about her life story and the middle class before she starts to even address the question. Your thoughts on how she did in that first solo interview?
This was a reminder of the Kamala Harris. Democrats were so nervous about running in Joe Biden's place initially. Many people said that at the time, very, very early after that first debate, that, replacing Biden would be too risky because of exactly these sorts of appearances that she made throughout her time as vice president.
Yeah, when this reporter asked for specifics, Brian Taff asked for specifics, she did eventually get to some of the things she's talked about before, the money for home buyers, that sort of thing. She got to it, but there was this long beginning. Was that strategy? Was she burning time in the interview? Was she trying to find her thoughts? Did she just, mentally go back to a talking point that she planned to hit from the start? She wants to drive home. She's from a middle-class background. What was that?
When she did seem coherent in that interview, she was almost repeating word for word things that she had said in the debate. So these were very clearly things that had been scripted. And among the lines that had been scripted was this line about being in the middle class. But then she embellished it with this very strange comment about, well, my neighbors really like to take care of their lawns.
Oh my God, I just love that so much. What the hell is she doing, Patrick?
Well, I think we should all take an example and use this the next time we're being asked what our plan is, and it's something that we don't want to do.
Yes.
We should just say, well, I grew up in a middle-class family.
My favorite. Yes. We all should start doing this.
I mean, I think it's a strategy. I think
totally.
We should
it's strategery, you guys.
It's strategery.
Totally.
And it's not the only time in her interview on Friday that she repeated things that she had said exactly in the debate. You guys remember from the debate where she said, well, clearly I'm not Joe Biden. Remember?
Oh, we remember it. It was exactly like that. That was good.
Well, she did it again because that interviewer asked, in what ways do you contrast with the sitting president? And she said this right here.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And, you know, I offer a new generation of leadership. And so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where
Oh my God.
it's about
So sick
investing
of that.
in areas that really need a lot of work. And maybe focusing on, again, the aspirations and the dreams, but also just recognizing that at this moment in time, some of the stuff we could take for granted years ago, we can't take for granted anymore.
I'm a little
What does that mean?
I don't, nothing. It means nothing.
What? None of that means anything. She means nothing. And the last, what is it, like the last 12 of the past 16 years, they've been in charge. So all of a sudden it's going to be different if she's in charge. It's not going to be different. It's going to be more of the same crap, you guys. More of the same.
It's going to be an opportunity economy.
That means nothing. An opportunity for them to take more of your money. That's what it's going to be.
Right. That's
a huge
right.
opportunity for them to get rich off the backs of the American taxpayer. Congratulations. You're a sucker.
But there are, you know, people are showing up to her rallies in droves, huge crowds. And according to Brian Stelter, the imagery of that is far more important than anything she actually says.
I'm surprised she's saying it out loud. She's so obviously visually not Joe Biden, right? She is the hope and change and youthful energy in this race. To me, the images are more important than anything she's saying right now. When she keeps filling these rallies, that's probably more important than what she says out loud at the rallies.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Potato Head. Yes. Imagery is
so
everything.
Much more important.
It is. The imagery is the most important, isn't it, you guys? I mean, the imagery is what helps you pay your electric bill, right? It's all about imagery.
I just cannot.
He's such a thumb, that guy. He's a thumb.
And then, you know, going back to the interview, you know, when she's been doing this a lot too, when she says, to be honest with you, to be very honest with you.
To be honest, I'm being honest right now. To be clear, let's be clear.
But she's doing this honesty thing quite a bit, and she does it again. And that's when you know that you're about to get another word salad.
My approach is about new ideas, new policies that are directed at the current moment. And also, to be very honest with you, my focus is very much in what we need to do over the next 10, 20 years to catch up to the 21st century around, again, capacity, but also challenges.
What what is she saying? What?
Well, she was very honest with you.
What
so.
Capacity, but also challenge? What does that even mean? I'm being serious. I don't know what any of that means.
It doesn't mean anything. It just sounds good to the dumbasses out there.
She's just like, here's a word, here's a word, here's a word. I'm going to shove it together.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense, you guys. God. And then dumb people fall for this.
Totally. And they're just like, oh my God, she's so eloquent.
She said capacity. I've never used that word in a sentence.
And then remember that the debate was literally just this past Tuesday. Okay. So on Tuesday, she got all bitchy to Donald Trump for daring to suggest that she and Tim Walz plan on taking your guns away. And she was like, oh, stop with the lies.
I have a gun.
I have a gun. And then fast forward 3 days and she sounds very different. Listen.
And this business about taking everyone's guns away, Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. Part of my approach to this is I was a career prosecutor for most of my career. I have personally prosecuted homicide cases. I have personally looked at autopsies. I have personally seen what assault weapons do to the human body.
Personally.
And so I feel very strongly that it is consistent with the Second Amendment and your right to own a gun to also say we need an assault weapons ban. They're literally tools of war.
How is that consistent?
They were literally designed to kill a lot of human beings quickly.
And define what an assault weapon is.
Bingo.
Define that.
They can't.
No Democrat can. Define it. And how in the world is banning a weapon consistent with the Second Amendment. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm going to ban this firearm, but that is consistent.
But I'm not taking your guns.
Yeah, but that's consistent with the actual Second Amendment. Like in the same sentence, she's saying this. Okay.
And then there was this great video that was going around because going back to the debate. Remember where she said, and right now we have no active duty service members serving in a war zone anywhere. They're like completely fine and safe. I mean, that was truly remarkable.
Yeah.
And so this video is now going viral because reasons.
Well, I will tell you, I agreed with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden did. And as a result, America's taxpayers are not paying the $300 million a day we were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time this century. What? But let's understand.
So where the fuck are we right now?
Oh my God. The fact that ABC let that go, though, is reprehensible.
One of many lies that they let go without fact checking.
Exactly. And then that guy has the audacity last week to say, oh, she only lied once.
Oh my God.
It was a continuous stream of lies. But that one especially was so reprehensible. I just cannot believe they let it go. And she wants to be commander in chief. She doesn't even know. She couldn't even point out to you on a map where Syria and Iraq are. And
she knows Russia is a country next to Ukraine.
Right.
Russia is a bigger country.
It's bigger.
And Ukraine is a smaller country.
It's bigger, you guys. She also calls Iraq the Iraq. She does.
Such as. So Hugh Hewitt responded to her interview performance, and here he is on that.
I want specific answers, the Pennsylvania reporter answered, and she gives the same answer she gave at the debate. I honestly don't think she has a thought in her head about anything that's specific. No. And I must say, I think the opinions of the debate are changing as the week goes on. She was wrapped up in bubble wrap by Muir and Lindsay Davis and ABC and Disney. She got no follow-up. She had no specifics. She was not fact-checked. It's beginning to dawn on people there is no there. She had a very bad few days, and that interview, oh my goodness gracious, she does not have a thought in her head.
He's right. Oh my goodness gracious is right.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Golly gee willikers.
And then, it's not bad. It's bad enough that she does the word salad, but then her surrogates who get sent out there to try to cover her tracks sound just as ridiculous. Case in point, Governor Healy from Massachusetts was on with Martha Raddatz, and Martha, that's her name, right? It's Martha Raddatz.
Martha Raddatz. Yeah, it is. It's Martha.
To her credit, Martha was trying really hard to say, it's kind of inexcusable for a potential commander-in-chief to not know that we have active duty service members in war zones. Like, don't you think? And the deflection, you guys, it is a thing to behold. Watch this.
I want to ask you about her comments about the military. She said during the debate this about the U.S. military. Let's listen.
As of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world, the first time this century.
Our fact checkers found that to be false, and I have a lot of experience in that area as well. There are currently 900 U.S. military personnel in Syria, 2,500 U.S. troops in Iraq. All have been under regular threat from drones and missiles for months. We also have action in the Red Sea. We also, every single day, the Navy SEALs, Delta Forces, special operators can be part of any sort of deadly raid. So why would she make that claim?
Well, I think what's important here, Martha, is that Kamala Harris, in contrast to Donald Trump, demonstrated herself to be commander-in-chief.
No.
We are in a world where there are all sorts of conflicts, and it's all the more reason we need somebody who's serious and who supports the military.
Oh my God.
And just remember,
But Governor, excuse me, but she said there is not one member of the United States military who is an active duty in a combat zone. That is not true. You say she demonstrated her ability to be commander in chief, but did she not know about these people in Syria and Iraq? Why would she say that?
Look, that was a comment. That was a comment in a debate. I think the point that she was trying to make was a broader point. And of course, we have military in place all around this country.
I didn't know that.
I can't. Although, listen, when it comes to Martha, she works for ABC. And she's like, our fact checkers found this. It's like, wait, when did they find that, Martha? Was it, obviously it was after the debate and after those two people gave her cover the entire time, who also work at ABC. These people are all insufferable. I hate all of them. All of them. I do. I mean, it's just so gross. So we can give her props for calling this out. But the fact remains is that she works for a crap network that let this happen to begin with. They should have fact checked her in real time. It should have been fact checked, not 4 or 5 days later.
Right.
You know, it's just, they're all disgusting.
And you know that they're providing cover when you ask a direct question, which is, shouldn't she have known that there's active duty people in war zones? And the answer begins, I think the important thing here is.
Right, exactly. I mean, the bottom line is, it's really what she should have said is, don't be silly. She doesn't even know where Iraq and Syria and all those places are. Don't be ridiculous.
Well, we got to get to the big story of the day, which is, of course, the second attempt on Trump's life. But we will do that after we thank a few people. Neiman64 says, Mott, can you remove the light switch? It bothers me. I did. It's gone.
She's going to rip it out of the wall.
Karen Eva said she's the female version of Oswald Bates from In Living Color.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that character, but I'm
to
sure
look it up.
It's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Powers says finished poll worker training in Cuyahoga County, Ohio, Cleveland this weekend.
Yay.
After seeing the process firsthand, I feel great about the election process here, and I encourage everyone to get involved. That is amazing.
That's fantastic. Good for you.
Yes, good for you, Aaron. MJ Homestead says, good morning, chicks. Shout out to my sister Terry, who just started watching you ladies. Welcome to the party, sis. Hi, Terry.
Hi, Terry.
The photo in the story says, I went to high school with the Kamala interviewer. Nice guy, bad interview. Megyn Kelly, an alumna of our high school, should have given him lessons. Oh my God. Yeah, you don't mess around with Megyn Kelly.
Yeah.
Thank you to Sandra Newport. Nathan Sangster. Hi, Nathan.
Hi, Nathan.
Nathan says Kamala has her script and she is sticking to it.
Mm-hmm.
Kim Donaldson says, I have a nice lawn and a great mother. Can I be president?
It's outrageous, isn't it?
And Bo Mama 8 says Kamala is the perfect example of if you can't dazzle him with brilliance, baffle him with bullshit.
So true.
Really right. Kim Holtzman says, wait a second. Kamala is the last person in the room, but doesn't know about our troops. Ms. Lying McLiar Pants is at it again. And yet another reason why she is incompetent.
Yep.
Indeed. All right. So the news broke yesterday of the second attempt on Trump's life. Obviously, when it first broke, there was a lot of confusion. Like there was instantly the reaction was, oh my gosh, somebody has tried to shoot him. Then people were like, no, wait, now it sounds like there were two shooters trying to shoot each other and he was just in the same vicinity.
Mm-hmm.
But then it became clear, no, this was like legit an attempted assassination again. And we first heard from Trump, who said there were gunshots in my vicinity. But before rumors start spiraling out of control, I wanted you to hear this first. I'm safe and well. Nothing will slow me down. I will never surrender. I will always love you for supporting me. And then we heard news, more specific news about the attempt and what was found in the area. So apparently this guy was hiding in the bushes with an AK-47, a scope, 2 backpacks, a GoPro, and the Secret Service was a hole ahead of Trump, scoping out obviously each hole, and they noticed him. And so the FBI is now investigating it as an attempted assassination. This, of course, the second time in just 2 months. He was taken to the ground immediately as the pops rang out. There were 4 shots fired. at the suspect, although he is in custody and unharmed. So that we do know from this update.
I have a question just really
Yeah.
quick. I know this is a completely off topic. It's kind of off topic. Why can't you say assassination on Twitter? Why can't you write that?
Can you not? People
always see the stars.
Yeah.
I don't. Why do people always do that? Why can't they always put stars? They don't write out assassination on Twitter. Are you going to be taken down? I feel like that's the one place where we can.
Yeah, that's
well, that's the thing. People do that all the time on Twitter, and I'm like, why are people just afraid to write that word? Or are we afraid of being squelched? Like, what? I don't understand why people don't just say it. Somebody tried to assassinate him. That's what it was. Like, I don't. Anyways, I just
why
thought
can't we say it?
Right, we should just say it. So anyway, I thought this was weird because I see a lot of people doing that, and I don't know why people do that.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hannity talked to the president not terribly long after this attempt, and he gave everybody a rundown of how he's doing in this interview from yesterday.
I'm trying to find out, like, how is he doing? That's what we want to know. How is he doing if you spoke to him?
Well, you really want to know the truth, Arthel? He goes, well, there's more details because I did hear, and Steve Witkoff was very clear. The first thing the president did when he got back to the clubhouse was make sure that everybody else was okay. He didn't see his golf partner with him. Where's Steve? Where's Steve? Where's Steve? And then Steve says, I'm right here. He got in maybe a few minutes behind the president. The Secret Service was able to get everybody to safety. Everybody else was taken off the golf course. Then when the president found out everybody was safe and nobody had been harmed, I guess in typical fight fashion, Trump said, to Steve, and then he related to me. I really wanted to finish the hole. I was even, and I had a birdie putt, and it was on the fifth. It was on the fifth hole, which shows a lot of I think guts and gumption, and very Trumpian, I guess, in every way. But the good news we can report is that in spite of this being in such close proximity to the president and others and the Secret Service, that they were not harmed. And that they are in safety. And I know the investigation will go forward. Probably more details, I would imagine, as time unfolds.
Of course, he was like, dang it, I really wanted to finish that hole.
Right. This is the thing. I think he's just unfazed.
Trumpy.
He's unfazed, and it's not going to stop him. He's going to just keep going.
I kind of feel like maybe it should phase him a little.
No, I don't think it will. I think it's just going to give him more resolve.
But that's terrifying because they're obviously going to keep trying.
Well, they're going to keep trying. It makes me like him even more.
I know, because he's not a cat. Like, this is not somebody with 9 lives. At some point,
what is he supposed to do? Quit? Is he supposed to quit and go,
maybe just not be out in as public of areas, maybe as open areas are, like golf courses, maybe just not for the next several weeks.
Yeah, I guess you could say
I'm
that,
just
but
worried about him.
He likes to live his life. He likes to golf. He likes to do the things. I mean, he's just not he's not a guy that's scared. He's he wants to live.
Oh my gosh, very worried. Well, the guy, the suspect who is in custody is this fellow. I'm not going to name him, but this is the guy. He was obviously delighted with himself because this is right after he was arrested. And so again, he was armed with an AK-47 and he was utterly unbothered to be arrested. And now there's of course a lot of really, really sketch stuff coming out about him. First of all, he tweeted back in April that he was very much influenced by all of the tone and tenor coming out of the Biden administration, which is that democracy is on the ballot. And Trump's slogan should be Massa, make Americans slaves again, master. Democracy is on the ballot. We cannot lose. We cannot afford to fail. The world is counting on us to show the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like the guy was radicalized. Like by J6, all the stuff that's happened and people not bringing the temperature down. I thought they were supposed to bring the temperature down.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how I feel about it. There's so much rhetoric out there from the left.
We've got to show, I have a ton of rhetoric to remind people of.
Right.
But absolutely, the temperature never came down.
It never came down. So why is that? When they said it was going to come down, why haven't they brought it down? I thought we were going to, when you have a party that calls Trump Hitler, they're going to start believing that he's Hitler. And then they're going to be weirdo, radical lunatics out there. They're going to be like, well, if I take him out, then I'm going to be a hero. And this guy, obviously, is a lunatic. And he's kind of a narcissist. He was delighted to be arrested. He feels like he's some sort of hero. He was recruiting people to go fight in Ukraine. This is what this guy was doing. I mean, he thinks he's important and he's not.
Well, and apparently he is in the weirdest of ways. So here's where it gets super strange. The New York Times actually had him included in a profile back in 2023 when he was helping recruit fighters to Ukraine. The New York Times covered him. And this is a guy with a rap sheet forever long. Like back in 2002, he was arrested in North Carolina, apparently for possessing a weapon of mass destruction, which was a fully automatic machine gun.
Right.
And then even weirder, do you guys remember that the first guy to try to take Trump's life 8 weeks ago or 9 weeks ago, remember how people were like, oh my God, he mysteriously was in the background of a BlackRock commercial?
Yep.
This guy was too. Like and this is a screenshot from the commercial.
Yeah.
Like what are the chances of that?
What are
super
they?
Weird.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it?
And then even weirder is that apparently this was a very last minute game. Like Trump didn't have on his calendar that he was going to go play golf at this particular golf course. It was a very impromptu decision that not very many people knew about. And so the fact that that this guy was at the course ready to go, like what is going on?
Like how did he know that?
Yeah.
How did that happen? Right.
I have so many questions.
Oh, I've got all the questions. Yeah. A lot of questions. There's a lot of stuff. And people are like, oh, this guy's a right winger. Yeah. There's a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, there's well, you go to, listen, they want to paint him as a right winger because, like back in the day, he may have been.
Well, he voted for Trump in 2016.
Right. But then he quickly became a never Trumper.
Yeah.
Quickly became that. And again, with all the temperature stuff and the J6 stuff. And then he became, and listen, they've scrubbed all of his socials again with that too. Like you can't, it's weird how the last shooter, we know nothing about that kid. Nothing about him, nothing about his family. I just find that all very interesting. Still, we don't. It's been 2 months. What do you know about that kid?
I think they know a lot and they don't want us to know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's like whenever they want us to know stuff and it fits their narrative, it's out there in like 2 seconds. But whenever it's like, I don't know, like the transgender shooter and they don't want us to know anything about it, it takes a year for us to find out bits and pieces that they want us to know. And then they'll just give us crumbs. We know nothing. That is, it's super important. I mean, what happened 2 months ago was a huge deal. It's a huge effing deal, right? In the words of Joe Biden. And so I feel like it would have been really important for the American people to know exactly why that happened and what happened and who that kid was. And we need to see all the facts. We pay these people salaries. We should see all of this stuff. And we're not getting the information. That's not okay. And I hope that it doesn't happen with this guy too. We need answers.
Well, at least this guy is alive. Now, whether or not he's going to,
he's going to stay alive.
Well, and whether he's going to cooperate. I mean, who knows, what he'll say and what he won't say.
I don't know. Some people think he's going to be Epsteined.
The world is so weird right now.
Yeah.
I cannot rule that out because there's just a lot of weird stuff going on, especially around this whole second attempt. And then just speaking about the rhetoric and how much the temperature has been amped up to cause people to get radicalized to this extreme, let's just look at some examples, shall we? One of them, or at least this first one, is from literally just hours before the attempt. And it was because the left is trying to paint Trump as some sort of violence inciter because of the cats and dogs thing. This is for real. Here's Jasmine Crockett.
Swore to defend against those that are coming against us, whether they are domestic or international. And right now, I feel like MAGA in general, they are threats to us domestically.
Oh my God.
And we see it time and time again.
They're threats to us domestically.
Well, I mean, my God, they've been saying that for years, that we're threats to democracy. We're literal threats to this country. So you don't think that there are going to be whack jobs out there that are going to internalize that and try to do something about it and feel like they're heroic in the process?
Mm-hmm.
Of course there are going to be people that do that. People are crazy.
They are completely batshit. And here is how some doctor on MSNBC referred to Trump supporters.
Let's not pretend that Donald Trump isn't exactly like Mussolini, exactly like Hitler. He is that guy.
This is the thing.
This is the one that I meant in terms of referring to the supporters. This is the one that I meant to play.
This cannot continue. Honestly, this can't continue. This country has an opportunity to vanquish this MAGA ilk. People are going to die if he doesn't stop this.
Really? Who's going to die? Because last time I checked, the president is like, he took a shot
at.
He took a shot to the head. He almost had his head blown off 2 months ago. And he escaped that miraculously by the grace of God. And then yesterday, somebody tried again. So who is going to, it's wow.
And there's more. Remember Claire McCaskill?
A lot of people have tried to draw similarities between Mussolini and Hitler and the use of the terminology like vermin and the drive that those men had towards autocracy and dictatorship. The difference, though, I think makes Donald Trump even more dangerous. And that is he has no philosophy he believes in. All he wants is to look in the mirror and see a guy who's president. All he cares about is selfish self-promotion. That's the only philosophy he has, which makes him even more dangerous because he has actually said out loud that it would be okay to terminate the Constitution.
It's just
okay. Never said that. Never actually said that. So she's a liar. And then the hyperbolic bullcrap with the he's more dangerous than Mussolini and Hitler. Yep. So you don't think some whack job's going to take that and go, I got to get rid of this guy and, for my country. Mm-hmm. Some blue-haired weirdo, which he was blue-haired, by the way. I mean, come on. This is not brain surgery. This is what they're doing. You're right. It's radicalization. That's what it is.
And sometimes they actually say the quiet part out loud.
Unquestionable at this point that man cannot see public office again. He is not only unfit, he is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated.
Oh, he has to be eliminated.
Nobody on our side ever says that stuff. We just don't. We want an actual democratic process to play out. That's what we want because that's what our founders wanted. These people will do everything they can to make sure that doesn't happen. And they want it. And there are people on the left who are delighted that there are actual whack jobs who are doing this to Donald Trump right now. And that makes me sick to my stomach.
It should. It should make everybody sick. This was Joe Biden just a couple months ago. Donald Trump is a genuine threat to the nation. He's a threat to our freedom. He's a threat to our democracy. He's literally a threat to everything America stands for.
Really a low temperature right there, you guys.
Right?
Super low.
This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the second attempt on Trump's life, the mainstream media dared to present it as though it was Trump's fault.
Oh, yeah.
Like they may as well have said, why does Trump keep making us try to kill him? Like that's how they're reporting it. This was the headline from the WAPO. Actually, this is what they said. Trump stokes suspicions about the assassination attempt.
God.
Raising fears of more violence.
You got to be kidding me.
This is somehow on him?
Yeah, his skirt's too short, you guys.
Oh my God.
He's asking for it. His skirt's too short. I can't with these people.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
Like when you think that you can't hate them enough, I've just never thought I'd ever see my country in this state. And the media, oh my God, the media is responsible. The politicians are pretty awful. They're pretty bad. I mean, like the Claire McCaskills of the world, she's pretty much an evil, when it comes to getting out there and saying that he's worse than Mussolini and Hitler. What's even coming out of your face, lady? Like, what is that? That doesn't help. And it definitely doesn't lower the temperature. But the media takes it and they throw gasoline on a fire. They throw all the gasoline on it, and this is it. This is their gasoline. They are the worst, the literal worst.
And you haven't even seen the worst of it yet, because this was Lester Holt's way of introducing the topic. I mean, it just gets
Today's
so much
apparent
worse.
assassination attempt comes amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail itself. Mr. Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance continue to make baseless claims about Haitian immigrants in Ohio.
Oh my God.
Like, it comes amid the attempt on his life comes amid mean stuff they said about cats and dogs.
Hey, listen, that asshole almost got shot again today. It's basically that's his take. I
mean,
I can't with these people. I'm done. I want a divorce so bad you have no idea. I can't. Oh my gosh.
And there's more. There's more from MSNBC about tone. Here it is.
Baseless claims about Haitian immigrants in Ohio.
Forehead.
The
Go away,
whole
forehead.
thing has yet to be 100% confirmed from start to finish how this all played out. But do you expect to hear anything from the Trump campaign about toning down the rhetoric, toning down the violence, or would that be atypical of the former president?
Well, Alex, remember back to the assassination attempt on President Trump's life and how, there was talk of a new tone, and then the Republican convention was, by Trumpian standards, muted. And it did seem like he was, just trying to take it down a few notches. But then by the end of his convention speech, we were kind of back to where we started.
Oh my God.
So
There's just
all his fault.
No self-awareness, no accountability on the left, none. And then it's like they say nothing about the Claire McCaskills. Nothing.
Yeah. That's
Listen,
all, that doesn't matter. None of that matters because cats and dogs.
Listen, I mean, he really needs to tone it down. He just never tones it down, even though he is worse than Hitler and Mussolini, you guys.
He keeps making us try to kill him.
I know. Why does he
stop? Why does he keep doing that?
God, it's totally his fault.
God, at least John Ratcliffe had it down right.
Well, my reaction, I think, is unfortunately what the reaction of most Americans would be, which is, I'm not shocked. Why would anyone be shocked at this point in time if they heard that there were shots fired in the vicinity of President Trump, given what's happened? Given unprecedented legal cases, indictments against him, legal theories that have never been pursued. And when there was an actual assassination attempt against him, it was minimized by his political opponents. And when, Kamala Harris on the stage last week at a debate demonized him and labeled him a threat to democracy, why would any of us be surprised that there continue to be potential threats on his safety and on his life like there have been in the past?
Also,
and then Trey Gowdy was talking. He was the one that was talking to John Ratcliffe, and here is what he said.
Clear, the political rhetoric in this country is sky high. When you repeatedly refer to someone as being anti-democratic and a threat to freedom and rights, rational people know it's political hyperbole. But irrational people act in irrational ways, like trying to murder someone for political reasons.
Right.
The shooter is being questioned, but of course he may not cooperate and cannot be forced to answer questions. Regardless, this is 2 shootings in about 2 months. Trump was struck by a bullet, narrowly avoiding a catastrophic result in Pennsylvania. Trump was not hurt in this second attempt, but it wasn't due to a lack of effort. It took about 24 hours for political opponents to return to their old ways the last time. We shall see whether this second assassination attempt changes anything.
It isn't. And Alexander Vindman's wife posted right afterwards, "No ears were harmed. Carry on with your Sunday afternoon."
Oh my God.
And then Alexander Vindman has the audacity to come out and say Donald Trump can really reduce the temperature for the remainder of the election and condemn violence of any stripe. He can start by telling his supporters it's not okay to call in bomb threats against Haitians and attack immigrants or political opponents. Because again, he's bringing this on himself, apparently.
Right.
I love Joel Fisher saying, reduce the temperature of your bitch first.
Oh my God. I love it. It's outrageous. This is all outrageous. We're living in crazy times, you guys.
It can't get, I don't even know. I don't want to test it by saying it can't get any worse.
Oh, it can get worse.
It's
going to get worse. It's going to get worse. We were talking before, like during pre-show this morning about, her moving and stuff like that. And how I guarantee you her move is going to like happen right around election time. Cause this is our life. This is what happens to us. Right. And I'm like, it's going to be crazy. Election time is going to be nuts. And I was telling our oldest daughter yesterday, because they're here with our grandson and everything. And I was like, when it's not over when the election happens. In fact, I think when the election happens, no matter who wins, our country is going to be in complete disarray. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, but I just feel like that's going to happen because I think what you showed us earlier, they're not going to count it correctly. There's going to be mayhem. There's going to be, as you would say, hullabaloo and there shouldn't be. There just should not be. It should be an easy election. Mm-hmm. It, by all intents and purposes, what we should have had 20, 30 years ago, it won't be. And it's because our country we're a hot mess.
We are a hot mess. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is why we need to keep some good spirit. We need to have some happiness and some fun. And that is why we're going to pause for a moment to bring you this reason that Twitter is awesome. Somebody posted this of Tim Walz. And it says, you just assume it's Walz because a man was reported as running from a combat area.
Oh God. I love how somebody here in our comments, and I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. Somebody called him Tim A. Walz.
That is perfect.
My absolute favorite nickname for him. I mean, I like No Balls Walls, but I really like Tim A. Walz.
And you're going to love this because Trump, an impersonator of Trump, Tyler Fisher, who we've played many times on the show before, he did a fantastic impersonation of Trump reacting to being shot for a second time. Here is that.
I'm doing okay, right? Don't worry about your president. I survived another assassination attempt. Think of it. This is my second, right? These are big numbers. Nobody's been shot at more. Al Capone, even El Chapo. Nobody can take shots like this. But I would call it the third assassination attempt. The second was the debate, right? 2, 3 against 1. Shots were fired. 2 weak ABC people and cackling Kamala, the retarded hyena. They said, sure, you can't say that, but I'm just speaking the truth. She'll destroy the country, right? Cats are being eaten. We know this. Dogs are being eaten. But they said it was a weak Democrat shooter, right? In the bushes, right? Tomorrow, think of it. CNN will say, innocent man was cleaning his gun peacefully in the bushes.
That's
and
so
it's
true.
White cis male racist transphobic toxicity that caused this.
They're doing it.
And he could not get a shot out because he's a weak Democrat shooter. Bing, bang, boom. He was triggered. And, frankly, they said, sir, could have been a trans person that shot you. I said, I don't mind trans people, but they should have transitioned into a better shot. Think of it. And I'll teach them. I mean, I've hit hole-in-ones at further away than this person, and he couldn't get a shot. They couldn't get a shot. And the biggest tragedy of it all is they interrupted my bogey, right?
Yeah.
Flag burning and bogey interruption should be punishable by jail.
I love it. This whole cat and dog eating thing, like we posted last week because, there was that great song about the cat and the dog eating. We were getting down. You would not believe the crap that we got on Instagram for posting that.
The Kiffin has already done a whole new song of it. The same guy that did Sometimes I'm Alone, Sometimes I'm Not. But I didn't play it because we would just get a copyright strike if I played it.
Oh my God, I got to hear it. Because people got so mad. People got so mad at us because they're like, oh my God, you chicks are making fun of the cats and dogs. It's true. It's true. And I'm like, oh, I totally think it's true. I still... But that's not, the two are not mutually exclusive. I can think that the song is funny and still know that it's true. It's really interesting, the disconnect. Like a lot of conservatives they're just like, you can't laugh about this at all. Do you know who we are? Do you know what our show is? Have you met us? Because this is what we do. We try to have a little bit of fun here because the world is a dumpster fire.
Right.
And if we don't laugh every once in a while, I can't. I have to laugh, you guys. We got to laugh every once in a while. Otherwise, it's like the whole world is depressing, and I refuse to be depressed. Okay, we got to laugh. We laugh here. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
And like that video that you just saw was hilarious.
That's why we try to sprinkle in some fun in the midst of all the dumbster fire
and
issues.
if there's a great song about eating cats and dogs, I'm not ever
gonna great ones, man.
We don't condone dog and cat eating on this show. I
can't believe you just had to say that out loud.
I just said it out loud. But these people like come at me in the comments, and I'm like, you don't know where you are. You don't know.
Oh my God.
You don't know who we are. It's Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I have to bring up Laura Loomer again because she's still,
God.
I mean, Trump's finally responded sort of to the whole hullabaloo, but it is a talking point for the left. They are eating this up with a spoon. Here's Michael Steele, who claims to still be a Republican, discussing.
Donald Trump has these people around him, not because he's seeking advice from them, not because they're offering any particular intellectual insight, but because they affirm his worst instincts. They affirm his bad judgment.
And then I know every time we bring her up, people are like, what? What did she do? Like, what's wrong with her? Even though there's like mounds and piles of evidence of how horrible she is, and we've shown them. But here's one that we haven't shown, I don't think, before. This was back in the day when DeSantis was running in the primary, and of course, you know how much she hated that. Like she
hated him. Yeah.
And so there was a prayer happening at this gathering for first responders. Okay, they are in active prayer. And this psychopath is outside with what are they called?
A bullhorn.
Yes, with a bullhorn, screaming at them while they're praying for first responders. Here's what I'm talking about.
Those sheriffs that we're about to honor today and highlight their support, make sure that your hand guides them as they provide safety and security as first responders in making our state safe. Dear God, please provide providence over the state legislators, Ashley Moody, and every other elected official who's up here as they take on the charge of protesters and those who believe that they have a better way. May God bring you into the light and Florida and continue to bless Ron DeSantis. In your name, we pray.
Yeah, she's a lunatic, man. I'm surprised one of those guys didn't go out there and just like, are you kidding me? Like tackle her to the ground. I mean, it's like, come on.
She's just awful. So Donald Trump sort of responded, but didn't disavow her. He just said Laura Loomer doesn't work for the campaign. She's a private citizen and longtime supporter. I disagree with the statements she made, but like the many millions of people who support me, she's tired of watching the radical left Marxists and fascists violently attack and smear me, blah, 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 blah. That's all he said. That's it.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a terrible idea for him to continue to be around her. But
just stop having her on your plane. Stop having her around you. Just stop. Just stop.
Enough already. My God.
Yeah, I think it's fine for her to support him all you want, do the things, but like, I mean, we support him. Other people, all these people here, a lot of people here, like a giant percentage of the people in our comments support him too. You don't see any of these people on his plane.
Right.
You know?
I mean, why choose the weirdo?
Right. So just don't do that. Just don't do it.
Oh my God. She's just crazy. Now, in good news, there's a fellow, I don't know of him because I am not a fan of this genre of music, but at a recent rally, Trump had Nicky Jam was there.
What genre is that? What genre? Is that like suck rock? What is it?
He's a Latin music superstar, allegedly.
I don't
he
know
has
what that is.
29 million listeners on Spotify.
Okay, that's not suck rock.
43 million on IG.
He's doing
7.7 million on TikTok and 4.8 million on X. He has a lot of support.
Okay, then he's great. He's doing really well.
I'm just saying Taylor Swift or Nicky Jam. I mean,
I've never heard of Nicky Jam. It's a dude.
Yeah, in fact, I'll show a video of him speaking just a little bit at Trump's rally so you can see what he looks like right here.
I'm glad he came up. It's an honor to me to meet you, Mr. President. People that come from where I come from, they don't meet the president, so I'm lucky. I'm gonna say this, but we need you. We need you back, right? We need you to be the president.
Okay, I love that. That's great. Good for him. That's
So-
he's got a huge following. I don't know what he sings, but he's
He probably sings songs that I would have used to Zumba to.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
Since he's a Latin music guy, I can just
You would have
imagine,
done the single double to him.
right.
She would have done that to this guy, this Nicky Jam gentleman. Okay, that's great.
I mean,
That's
I get,
good.
you know, if people are saying that Taylor Swift's endorsement matters, then so too does Nicky Jam.
Nicky Jam. Yeah, I totally agree. Reggaeton. Somebody said he's reggaeton. Okay, that's cool. Reggaeton is that's a legit genre.
Okay, I don't even know what that is.
Reggaeton is what they actually do play in Zumba.
Okay, that's what that's called?
Yeah, reggaeton. It's one of the genres that they play. Yeah, but reggaeton is an actual genre. And it's, that's some fun music.
Oh my God, it's super fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't download it to listen to in the car, but I will absolutely Zumba to it.
I'm not familiar with the artists in that genre, but now we know one of them, and that's great. So good for him.
That's right. That's exactly
Listen,
right.
it's like we had Lee Greenwood and now we have him.
That's right. This will be a little more peppy music, right?
Right.
Okay, that's good. I like that. There are still naysayers who think that Trump's choice in picking JD Vance as his running mate was a bad one. I don't get it. JD Vance is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
he slayed on the Sunday shows yesterday. Absolutely slayed. We've got a few examples because he was everywhere. He, unlike the Kamala team, he does interviews with the meanest people ever.
And where's Walz? By contrast, where's he? He's not been on anything. You haven't seen him anywhere. Talk about hiding candidates. That guy is nowhere. I mean, you saw his wife. We're going to get to
the debate.
Right. We'll get to his wife. She's a complete loony. But you never see Walz. But Vance, you're absolutely right. The guy is fire.
He's so good. And he's so good at using the interviewers' names over and over and over again. So whether it's Kristen Welker, who you'll see, whether it's Margaret, whoever on CBS, and Dana, of course, he uses their names a lot, and it's very effective in shutting them down. And especially with this first clip with Kristen Welker, she's like, like she wants so badly to get in there, and he's like,
I
let her.
I simmer down zip.
So great. Here he is.
I have heard firsthand from multiple constituents, people who made 911 calls a month ago, a year ago, who were making these complaints. I trust my constituents more than I do the American media that has shown no interest in what's happened in Springfield until we started sharing cat memes on the internet, which is disgraceful that the American media ignored this town. And that's the most important part. Kamala Harris's open border, Kristen, has led to skyrocketing housing costs in Springfield, rising rates of crime, rising rates of communicable diseases. They have dropped 20,000 immigrants into a town of 40,000, and it's caused a host of social problems. And we should be talking about why Kamala Harris has done this to this small town, and the media and the Democrats ignored it for an entire year. Kristen, I was talking about this on the Senate Banking Committee months ago. Nobody would pay attention to it until we started sharing the 911 calls of people in Springfield saying the migrants are eating the geese.
And yet,
I think that's really, really shameful that no one cared about it or paid attention to it.
You've been talking. Oh my God, my favorite is that they pan to her and she's like, how about that? And they're like, just pan away. Just pan away from her. She's useless. Just pan away. Oh my God, that was so beautiful.
So great.
I never thought we would be talking about people eating geese like in the streets. I was just side note. It wasn't on my bingo card. What are we doing? What
are we?
It is
what even are
peak 2024 that's what we're talking about. I thought 2020, I thought maybe we had peaked as crazy, because during COVID, I thought this is it. We peaked crazy. And then here in 2024, we've got a vice presidential candidate on a talk show talking to some moron lady and going, listen, I mean, the migrants are eating geese, in the streets.
And you guys weren't paying attention until we posted cat memes.
Right.
This is where we are.
What are we doing as a society? Okay.
Crumbling. The answer to your question is crumbling.
I can't. Okay.
All right, here he is with Margaret. What's her name? Is it Brennan? I don't remember her name.
I don't care.
She's the CBS lady, and
I
he
just
also
don't care.
says her name and takes her to town.
About these problems. But what have you done to help Governor DeWine with his request for federal help?
God, she's so bitchy.
Well, the most important thing that we can do to assist Governor DeWine and the whole state of Ohio, and frankly the whole country, Margaret, is to stop Kamala Harris's open border. And for 2 years, I've been fighting for policies that do exactly that. You have to ask yourself, why have these 20,000 Haitian migrants been dropped into a small Ohio town in just a few years, Margaret? And the answer is because Kamala Harris implemented what's called temporary protective service for over 100,000 Haitian migrants. She basically, with a magic wand, granted amnesty to thousands of people who shouldn't have been in this country, and now a small Ohio town is dealing with the consequences. And to anybody listening, Margaret, this is what Kamala Harris wants to do to every town in this country. Overwhelm them with migration, stress their municipal budgets, see communicable diseases on the rise. What is happening in Springfield is coming to every town and city in this country if Kamala Harris's open border policies are allowed to continue. We have got to stop this. American citizens are suffering because of what she's done. And now let me just
That's my favorite. He's like, let me hypnotize you with my blue eyes and my intelligence. Look into my eyes, Margaret. Look into my big blue eyes.
That's phenomenal.
He's so great.
good at this.
I know,
My
right?
God.
So
And
great.
then, of course, the cherry
Dana.
on top, Dana Bash. Now, this was a 7-minute conversation, okay, about the cats and dogs. 7 minutes she spent with him on this. And we obviously can't play the whole thing. So we're playing towards the end of it when they were wrapping up. And he was just like,
I'm done.
I
can't with you.
Yes, he just cannot with her, and
Right.
it is glorious.
a couple of other things that you said, Dana, because it's important. You said that all of these migrants are in the country legally. They're in the country through what's called temporary protective status.
Right.
That is when Kamala Harris waved a magic amnesty wand, taking people and giving them legal status. That is not to say that they're here legally. That is a terrible indictment of her amnesty policies that have further opened the
But they're
border
not.
and further
But it's
caused
not illegal.
terrible migration into this country.
You might not agree with the policy, and obviously you don't, which is totally fair and legitimate. There are policy disagreements all the time, but the fact is that it is the law because President
Dana,
Biden
the point
and
is,
Vice
Dana,
President Harris are. But I don't want to frankly go down this conversation about policy
Dana,
because
you made a point. You don't. I agree. You don't want to talk about policy.
No,
Dana,
what I
which is
want to
why
talk
you're talking
about.
about
What I want to talk
distractions
about
instead of about the fact,
Senator,
that Kamala
it was
Harris,
your
Dana,
distraction.
granted amnesty.
You were the
at a
one who
mass
started
level. She
talking about
granted
eating
amnesty
dogs
at a
and
mass
cats.
level.
You were the one who
Dana,
brought this
my
up. The
constituents
president
were the
said it
ones
to
who talked about
60
eating
million
dog and
people.
cats, and I
God,
talked
she's
about it
insufferable.
because you were ignoring this community. My constituents talked about
Have
it.
you
and
been
it is
to
my
Springfield?
responsibility to surface their concerns when the American media
Have you been to
ignores it.
Springfield?
Dana, I've been to Springfield probably 100 times in my life.
How about
I've taken my
recently,
children
since
to
you've
get
heard
ice
this?
cream
Oh my
at
God.
Young's Jersey Dairy.
Have you heard recently since you've
Have I been
gotten
in the
these
last?
calls?
Have I been in the last 4 days?
No,
no,
I'm
I haven't
talking
been
about
in the last 4 days, but I've
since
talked
you've
to a lot
gotten
of
these
people
calls
in
from the
Springfield,
constituents.
Dana, and they're
what a hag.
telling me this stuff is happening. Dana, would you like to ask me questions and then let me answer them, or would you like to debate me on these topics? I noticed that when you had Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, you gave them multiple choice answers to the questions that you asked, and you allowed them to answer the questions. I'm happy to be here to talk about policy, but if you're going to interrupt me every single time that I open my mouth, then why am I even doing this? So please ask a question, and I'd ask you to be polite enough to let me answer it.
Yes, I am, and I think that if Kamala Harris and Tim Walz were making unsubstantiated claims that had racist undertones about people eating
It's
dogs
racist,
and cats,
you guys.
I
It's
would,
racist.
and they didn't answer the questions about that, then I would have similar interactions with them.
I can't. This is why I couldn't be a politician. I'd be like, Dana, you ignorant slut. I couldn't. This is why. People are like, Daisy, you should run for office. I can't. This is why. I would last 2 seconds. 2. These people are insufferable. He's a racist because people are walking around holding geese by their necks and they're like, I'm going to have dinner. Has nothing to do with the melanin content in their skin. This is so stupid. It's not racist.
Listen, it's a cultural thing and the skin tone is irrelevant.
I mean,
there are some cultures that are better than others.
Yeah. I had a guy that I know that is actually, he's a friend of mine on Facebook. He wrote me fighting me about this very issue. And he's like, I've killed roadkill. I mean, I'm not killed. I'm sorry, because it's already dead. I've gotten roadkill. I've gotten roadkill, like fresh roadkill, and I've eaten it for dinner. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of judging you. I'm judging you a little bit. I think it's nasty. That's like, because he was trying to defend this whole thing. And I'm like, I mean, you realize we have stores, right? I mean,
Did you like congrats to him for like getting to the point where you say, yeah, it's happening, but it's a good thing.
Right. I mean, this is the thing. Like this is how far they're going. It's like, if it's not a racist thing, then it's fine. It's fine to take geese from the park, grab them by their necks, and then go kill it to eat it. This is what third world countries do. This is what we're becoming. And then people are defending this behavior as if it's something to defend. Stop it.
Well, the FBI is very, very worried about Haitians feeling offended. And so they have posted billboards written in Haitian Creole right in Springfield, Ohio, telling them, here's how to report hate crimes. And now apparently there are reports that the 911 phone booths are just exploding with calls of every Haitian being like, this person hates me, this person hates me, this person hates me.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad
they're overwhelming the system.
They're using the resources for that. I'm really glad that that's what the resources are being used for. Merrick Garland's going to do a press conference about this. The DOJ we're getting calls about Haitians being hated. And so this is what we're going to spend our time on, you guys.
I can't wait to hear Karine Jean-Pierre if she does a press conference today.
Totally.
She is Haitian. And so I'm sure she'll be very clear. We know she'll be clear.
Well, she probably thinks cats are good.
You guys, I know last week we said it's definitive. There will be no second debate. Now it's looking like there could be. So I don't know. See what you make of this report. But now it could be back on again.
Good to see you both. Let's get into this because the debate over future debates is certainly heating up. Vice President Harris, of course, saying she's ready for a rematch. At first, Donald Trump insisted there will not be one. But then yesterday, Trump said he might participate if he got in the right mood. So
he got in the right mood. I love that so much. Like, depends on how I feel that day. It has to be at the right place. It has to be with the right venue. Like when I say the right venue, it needs to be with the Fox or like a Newsmax or like on Joe Rogan.
I just hope that if there is one, wherever it is, that he secretly knows he didn't do well in the first one. Because if he really genuinely believes, like he's saying out loud, that he won it and that he did awesome, then he won't correct the behaviors. And so I'm hoping that he's just blustering and saying that, like, to have the Trump swagger, but that really he knows there were some things that he needs to not take the bait.
I hear you, but I will counter with that and say, since she had every effing advantage in that first debate, and if he were in a more fair environment, and when I say fair, if he were in like a free for all, like a town hall environment, or if he were in a, like I said, Joe Rogan, if he were in an interview environment like that, where they were going back and forth on issues and actual policy, and they had to answer questions and answer follow-up questions and be prodded and poked, he would do exponentially better than her.
He would, except for when he gets baited by her. The moderators had nothing to do with her bringing up crowd size. And he took that bait and he swallowed it whole.
I hear you, but I don't think that would happen because I think she would be too freaking scared. I think she would be too scared in like a Joe Rogan or something like that, or a town. I think she would. I think she would crumble. I really do, because she wouldn't have the backup. She wouldn't have the cushion. She wouldn't have the emotional support that she had in that first debate. She was scared coming out in that first debate.
She was, for sure.
But then she was like, okay, they got me. I'm good. Like, everybody's got me. I'm okay now. I'm safe. I'm safe here. And then she felt secure enough to go after the jugular and to bait him and do all the things. If she were not in that environment where she had safety, she would be effed and she wouldn't be able to do the things that she did. And
I think she will, because she knows exactly what gets under his skin, especially now, because she did it. So now she'll know what exactly to poke him on.
I
disagree.
disagree.
He just needs to not fall for it.
I disagree with you. I just disagree with you, because I think that if they were in an environment that wasn't safe for her, she would not have the backup of those people, and other people would be helping Trump too. Like, in that case, it wouldn't be so one-sided. I just think, like, if it were a Joe Rogan, he'd be like, really? Like, seriously? Because he would push back on her too. And then she would be having to defend herself. And she couldn't do it. That's the thing. In the first one, it was 3-on-1. And if it wasn't 3-on-1, she would lose. But
the difference is that she still learned what works in that first debate, the lines of hers that works. And I just don't know if he did. That's my only concern, is that if he's genuinely thinking, I won that, I was awesome, then that's bad, because he didn't win it. Like, he clearly didn't win that debate. And he was up against 3 people, no question, but that was the result. And so he's continuing to say that he blasted it out of the park. And I just hope that doesn't mean he's going to do exactly the same thing. You know what I mean? But it's very unlikely that there's going to be a second debate. Even if he's saying, if I'm in the mood, you know what I mean? I don't think that she's not going to agree to do one of the tougher interviews. And I don't know that they're going to figure out timing within, how much time do we have left? 50 something days. There's just no way.
I don't
see it happening.
I just want to see the VP. I just want to see the VP debate.
Oh my God. I'm so excited for that.
That's all I care about.
So
and I feel very, like, I'm pretty confident that Vance is going to mop the floor with that guy, as long as it's not another 3-on-1 thing.
Where's that? Do we know where that debate is?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either. I guess I don't know that JD Vance is going to get, even if it were 3-against-1, I cannot see him. Look at how he deals with the report, like the interviewers. He does not get shaken up at all.
He won't. But if it's 3-on-1, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. If he's silenced, it won't matter. He has to be able to talk. Yeah. He has to be able to. It has to be fair, and nothing is fair anymore. Nothing. We just get the raw end of the deal on our side of the aisle. We do. It's hard to have a fair debate in a country where the Democrats run everything.
Yeah, especially the media.
Yeah.
Kamala did another rally. I don't actually know. This may have been North Carolina or somewhere. I'm not sure. But she had this line in there about the border and how she said 1,000,000 times, I'm the one that has prosecuted transnational gangs, blah, blah, blah. She gets all on her high horse in this clip about the fentanyl. And I'm like, you're the reason it's here. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And she's got all these sheep clapping for her. I'm like, listen.
These cartels firsthand, and as president, I will make sure we prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law.
Maybe close the border, you hag.
Poison like fentanyl on our children.
Oh my God. What a hag. You're
in the office right now.
Yeah, she could have closed the border. It just makes me crazy. I have a dear friend that just lost her 27-year-old daughter to, actually, is she 27? She may be a little bit older, but she just lost her daughter to that. And it makes me crazy, because she would tell you that it's their fault. Mm-hmm. This crap gets over the border because why? You left it wide ass open. So for her to get on a stage and preach that she's going to do something about it, you've had 4 years to do something about it. What you did was you undid all the things that Trump did.
Yep.
You left it wide open so they can just here you go, kids. Here you go. Fentanyl has killed more people 18 to 44 than anything in this country. To me, that's a public health crisis. And they're not doing anything about that. Have they declared it a public health crisis? No.
And then she gets on a stage and tries to act like she gets it. She knows the cartels better than anyone.
Nope.
She's going to go after them.
Yeah,
you are in office now.
Right. You're the problem.
Right now.
You're the problem, Kamala.
It's you. It's you. And also, she even struggles with just a simple question like, how are you feeling about Pennsylvania? That's the question. Okay. Here's her answer.
I am feeling very good about Pennsylvania because there are a lot of people in Pennsylvania who deserve to be seen and heard. That's why I'm here in Johnstown.
I feel good about Pennsylvania because there's a lot of people in Pennsylvania
that need to be seen and heard. They're standing there and they need. Wow. She's very eloquent, you guys. Very eloquent when she doesn't have a script in front of her.
She also spoke in sequins, no less, at the Black Caucus dinner and pulled out her black accent. She went all black scented out for this particular audience. Here she is.
Hello to all my divine nine brothers and sisters.
Oh my God.
And my soror.
Oh my God.
And to all my HBCU brothers and sisters.
They can see that she's mocking you. I mean, like she's mocking them, right? Like black people can see she's mocking you. Right? You can see that?
Switching.
Isn't that what they call it? Code switching? No, she's mocking you. That's what that is. It's pandering and mocking, and it's gross. And if you can't see that and you're a black person, I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you. It's so disingenuous what she's doing and gross and pandery and that's just it's inexcusable. If I were a black person, I would be looking at that going, why are you talking like that to me?
Right. Well, I think it contributes to some of the reason why she's lost some black support for sure.
God. It's
because they get it.
It is obnoxious, Max. It's gross.
Yeah. Somebody said this is a weird dress. I'm not a fan at all of this dress.
Yeah, that dress is
awful,
hideous.
But you guys, guess what else she said?
Sure, where we can see what is possible, unburdened by what has been.
You've got to be kidding me. Why? Why does she? Why? He has no friends. She has no friends. And she has no friends to tell her that she needs to quit saying that crap. And also don't wear that dress. Don't wear that ugly ass dress. Don't wear it. No friends. Zero friends. And I don't trust a chick that doesn't have at least a best friend, you know? Like you don't need to have a lot of friends, but you need to have
the one
that's willing to say, quit saying that.
Got to stop. Everyone is mocking you.
Yeah,
everyone.
Like there are memes. You are a meme. I
couldn't believe it. Like I thought this has got to be AI. It wasn't.
No,
it wasn't AI. That was real.
Wow.
Wow. And then speaking of weird, Gwen Walz is a psycho. So we actually have two clips of the same thing because one of them, you can see that she's on a rally stage with her husband, Tim, and she's talking about Kamala's new line, which is we need to turn the page.
Turn the page.
She loves this motion. She really loves this, wants to talk about it. And then you're going to see the same clip again, only close up on her crazy eyes.
It's always in the eyes, you guys. Always.
Something is going on with that woman. Oh my God. So here it is from like a safe distance.
Kind of liked it when she did this. Turn the page. You like that?
Oh my God.
So I need you to be with me and practice with me. What are we going to do? We're going to turn the page. Oh, pretty good. Do it again. We're going to turn the page.
I cannot with this broad.
Turn the page. All right, so I'm going to be watching you because when I see Wisconsin, and I'm going to watch you nationally on TV because this is a pretty important place in Minnesota. I'll help you practice with this. You just show me this. Turn the page. Right?
Oh my God.
And you know what else that looks like? Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Donald Trump.
God, she is a loon. She is a loon.
52 days and we are turning the page. 52 days and it is bye-bye, Donald Trump. Bye-bye, Donald
Look
Trump.
at her close up.
He is crazy. Oh my God. She is effing
52
insane.
days and we are turning the page. 52 days and it is bye-bye, Donald Trump.
Oh my God.
You know, she's like, my favorite scent is burning tires.
She obviously has smelled too many.
Yeah. She
was
is
terrifying.
batshit. That chick is batshit crazy right there. That's it. Like in the dictionary, if you're looking that up, it's a picture of her.
You know what she is? She's Jill Biden and Hillary Clinton
together.
Used together.
You're so good at putting people together. Yes, she's the two of them together.
She's
as
got
one
the
person.
teachery thing from
Yes.
Jill,
And
then
then
the annoying thing
and
from Hillary.
The annoying batshittery from Hillary.
Yeah,
she
kind of looks like a combo of that.
I'd be so afraid to like live in the same house with her because she's so joy. she's cray.
Like, she's Jillery.
She's Jillery, you guys. Yeah. Wow. That is
Jillery.
some crazy.
But I have the best eye bleach for you ever because there's a new teaser for Melania's book, and here is Melania.
I never imagined my privacy would be invaded by the government here in America. The FBI raided my home in Florida and searched through my personal belongings. This is not just my story. It serves as a warning to all Americans, a reminder that our freedom and rights must be respected.
Yeah, I know. I just love her. And then and then Garland gets on a stage and he's like, "You guys are mean to us. You guys are really mean. Like, stop." And we're not biased at all. We're not. Okay. All right.
Also, have to show you a completely unrelated to anything video that my husband shared with me that he saw about a small business owner asking its employees, hey, if I told you to just guess how much it costs for me to pay you, in other words, how much as a small business owner am I just taxed on payroll itself?
Mhm.
I'd like to hear your guesses. And I think they were surprised and you'll be surprised.
Yep.
This is ridiculous.
So we're going to take a guess. Who can guess within the last 3 years how much I have had to pay payroll taxes to just be able to pay you guys, which they're all worth it, but this is a government issue. How much do you think I've paid in payroll taxes? It's just a tax that I pay to pay you guys, if that makes sense.
In 3 years?
In the last 3 years.
Oh, 3 years.
In the last 3
I'm
years.
gonna say 60,000. I think 80,000.
I said 100,000.
I'm gonna go 85. Like 90.
Okay. You want to weigh in, Liana? How much you think in the last 3 years I've had to pay in payroll taxes?
That's what I do. 45,000.
Okay, are you all ready?
No.
Drum roll.
Really hot.
You want to guess? 200,000? $272,000 to the U.S. government just to pay people that you will also pay your taxes on as well. And then when you go to buy something,
Why are
you
you
will
doing
also
this?
be taxed on the
so sorry.
item that
Why are
you
you
are
here?
purchasing.
Yep.
I feel awful.
No, don't go. No, you're
go.
also,
Yeah.
and then you get paid, and then your paycheck's half of that because you're also paying taxes. And then when you go to
Yep.
purchase
So
something,
you
will be paying taxes.
And we pay for the same thing.
The U.S. dollar is taxed 1 million times before it even ends up in someone's name. So
We used to like go to war for taxing.
no taxation without representation.
We sure did.
My house with that.
Yep, me too.
No wonder.
Anyways,
Fatal taxing.
love you all.
Yeah. Taxation is theft, man. It's theft. And people get mad when I say that, but that's what it is. And it just gets worse and worse. They tax you on everything. Our government is out of control.
Out of control.
Out
I
of
thought
control.
that was so eye-opening,
Yeah.
especially for those girls. They definitely.
I mean, you
surprising.
get taxed just to pay your people. Like that's, I mean, we get taxed on that because we have a small business. Yeah. It's insane. Small businesses get so screwed.
Oh my gosh. On every
Everything.
level.
Mhm.
Every level.
And it's why so many of them just go under because they just
Yeah.
can't do it. It's the weight of all of the regulations and the taxes. They just can't do it. They can't.
Mm-hmm. All right. For Schlong today, we need to talk about Taylor Swift because Trump has made his feelings about her known by posting on Truth Social yesterday at 10 in the morning. I hate Taylor Swift. So I cannot fathom why he did this, but he did it. And there's been a lot of reaction. Max Nordau said he's actively trying to lose. And he said, I'm referring to his advisors, of course. Whoever told him to post this attack on Taylor Swift should be fired. I'm not going to fault President Trump. He's a businessman, not a politician, and had to trust his advisors who failed him, which I don't think is probably true at all. I can't imagine anybody told him to post this.
No, I think he did this on his own. This was totally him. Yeah. I mean, he probably, listen, to me, I'm looking at this objectively, right? I'm trying to look at this objectively. And I look at like what she wrote, which is an endorsement, and nobody should really give a crap what she thinks, but people do. Unfortunately. And then, she basically said in her post, I hate Donald Trump. Really, for all intents and purposes, that's what she said. So he's saying kind of the same thing, although nobody's voting for her, right? So, I would have loved it if he would have just said nothing and ignored her. Like, you're just a stupid twit nobody cares about.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he would do more of that and just ignored people more. He could have been funny about it and been like, Taylor Swift who? Or like something. He could have been fun. He could have maybe done it in a more joking way, but the whole I hate Taylor Swift thing, I don't know, just like it.
Like nobody is going to tell me a good thing that comes out of this. There's no positive to this. There's no upside.
Probably not, because I think she was already getting so much backlash organically without him saying anything. So he probably could have just said nothing. Like if I were advising him, I would have just said, just say nothing, because there's a huge movement out there now where girls are taking her songs and making videos and saying that they stand by you. Like you're their choice. So let it just run its course organically. And I promise you're going to get a lot more support out of this.
But, because this actually isn't good for the Swifties for Trump, for example. There's this whole new little movement of Swifties for Trump. And now he's like, I hate Taylor's. That just it doesn't help anything. And so this is one of those times where I'm like, please stop stepping on your own dick.
Right. Yeah.
Tommy Laren said pissing off Swifties just probably isn't the best idea. It is unnecessary. Mary Catherine Ham said, every time I think we've reached the pinnacle of dumbass shit, we go higher. Astoundingly stupid, crass, self-destructive, just amazing work. I
miss the 80s, you guys.
I know.
I just really miss the 80s where not everything was out in the, it's one of those things where like Reagan probably would have said behind closed doors, I hate Taylor Swift.
Right. Behind closed doors.
He would have said it to somebody, like he would have said it to Nancy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They would have been in their bedroom and he would have been like, I hate that girl. But it wouldn't have been said out loud and we wouldn't have all heard it. And that's what I kind of miss those days, when you could just say things to your friends and your family and not everybody would have heard it. And I think that's That's where we are now, is that everybody needs to hear everything, and everybody doesn't need to hear everything.
Right. Now, somebody tried to say this is a bot posting it on Twitter. Yes, this bot posts everything that Trump has on Truth Social to Twitter. That's correct. But Trump absolutely posted this on Truth Social, and that's what the bot picked up. Ari Fleischer said, I hate this message. It's pointless. Trump isn't running against a singer. He's running against a San Francisco dangerous liberal. He should keep his sights on that target.
Ari's right. He's right. And like, it makes it look like he cares about all of these people who are inconsequential to him winning an election. And so it's, just let it go.
Yeah. John Cardillo saying he will step on every possible rake. This is the funniest way to say it, I thought.
It is.
And then Guy Benson kind of acting it out. Mr. President, the polling is mixed on the impact of that debate, but it looks like it may end up being a wash. So we think there's a good opportunity to win, especially if we can tighten up our focus and messaging. So if you could, I hate Taylor Swift.
Okay, then.
Okay, then.
Yeah, I know. This is...
And then really the problem is that, of course, it gives ammo unnecessarily to the leftist media, namely people like Jen Psaki, who then end up saying stuff like this.
All week long, she filled stadiums with tens of thousands of people in crucial swing states like North Carolina and Pennsylvania. And she, of course, notched the endorsement of Taylor Swift, which is clearly still driving Trump nuts. If you happen to click over to Truth Social this morning, here's what you saw in all caps. I hate Taylor Swift. Clearly, it's not under his skin at all.
I mean, that's the thing, as it is. And now now everybody knows it. And why?
Yeah, it's like people don't need to know that she's getting to you.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. It is time for your Double D. I love this so much.
Okay. I am so sick of all of these influencers. I'm just going to be honest. I'm so sick of influencers telling me what to eat and what not to eat and how everything is bad for me now. And again, with missing the 80s, I just remember being able to eat and drink whatever the heck I wanted to. And then, you know what? I look at it this way. I'm a big, like nutrition and fit. I like reading a lot of nutrition and fitness books. I do it. I'm not like an extremely fit person. I'm not. I get it. You don't have to come at me because I'm old and it's fine. But the thing is I like reading about that kind of stuff, and I like reading about nutrition, and I like trying to stay healthy as I can. But people can take it to the extreme, and a lot of people have nowadays. And I just like, enough with the telling me that I cannot enjoy life. And I believe that everything should be enjoyed in moderation, except for don't eat cats. But this just encapsulates so many of these influencers nowadays. And I loved it so much that I had to share.
But I mean, this is satire.
This is totally satire. I promise, but it doesn't seem like it. You know what I mean?
This could actually legit be from somebody real.
Right. Especially at the beginning. It doesn't seem like it, but it is satire.
This is everything I eat in a day. For breakfast, I had raw ground bison with Parmesan topped in honey and 9 raw quail eggs. For a snack, I had 3 pine cones drizzled in a truffle balsamic reduction with a glass of raw giraffe milk. Then as a pre-workout, I had a shot of fermented squid ink, along with a few kidney stones passed by a Tibetan monk. For lunch, I just had a natural rainwater steeped coffee with a lavender foie gras foam, and finished that with some dates smothered in Appalachian goat butter, and 6 more glasses of raw milk. Then for dinner, I had 2 whole raw pumpkins, including the stems. I wind down my evening by writing down my manifestations and burning them. I use the smoke to make an intention-infused dandelion tea.
Yeah, you got to make sure when you eat raw pumpkins that you definitely eat the stems, you guys. Because the stems, that's where all the nutrients are, in the stems. Okay.
Oh my God, that was glorious.
Wasn't it the greatest? Like, quit telling me what to like. And the raw everything, and just shut up.
Yeah. Oh my God, so
good. Anyway.
Okay, you're about to see the greatest thing ever from one of those roving fan cams at a hockey game. Okay, so you know how it's like not a kiss cam, but it's just a cam of the audience.
Yes.
And for some reason, this cam focuses in on a small boy who is just making this pouty face, right? And people ate it up in the audience. They loved it. And so when the cam started going around and getting other people, everyone started booing until they would go back to the kid.
To the boy. Yeah.
And it is so Great. Watch.
Is his name George? Is it George? Oh my God, I love it so much. What a great memory for that kid. Look at him. He's like, yeah, it's so great. Oh my God. You suck. You suck, dude. That kid. He's the greatest. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I suck. I know. I'm not a little kid. Oh my God. I want to gobble him up. He's so happy.
So cute.
What a wonderful memory for that kid. Oh my gosh. It's the greatest
thing ever.
Just love him.
Also, going back to our working theory that cats are liquid. Because as you know, I'm seeing nothing but cats in my Instagram feed right now.
Yeah.
Here is another liquid cat.
Oh, if you can't chill like this.
I don't want it if I can't chill like that. That is the greatest. Oh my gosh. I need him. I need that cat.
And now you're going to need kittens too, because now you're going to hear all the different sounds the kittens can make. And one of them, you'll see one of them in there has the strangest meow you have ever heard. But most of them just sound like this.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my God, his eyes. He's like, don't stab me. Oh. They're so fuzzy. He's gonna kill him. Cat is gonna kill him one day.
Okay, so there was your cats for today.
Are we gonna get huskies? Are we getting huskies?
You're gonna get huskies. It's been way too long since we've had huskies.
It has been. You're right.
It really has. And this, I love this one because the woman captioned her huskies. There are 3 of them, and when there are 3, they get each other going, and then it's almost like they try to outdo one another, right? And interestingly about these huskies is that they all have very different howls, but man, this would not be fun to live with, you guys.
Go on, don't stop because I pulled out my phone.
There comes the third one. Oh my God. I can't. Oh my God. They just, I swear.
It's so ridiculous.
Then one in the middle is like doing staccato ones. They are out of control. Somebody said those are Malamutes. I really don't know. I don't know the difference.
I don't
really
either.
Don't. I
They
couldn't
just
tell
seem
you
like
the difference.
huskies to me.
Mhm. They're husky-ish.
Oh my God, that was glorious.
They're
Okay,
so
we've
great.
got some people to thank. Over here on Venmo, Karen Morisco says, morning, starting as always with my favorite chicks and so excited, ending with seeing Tucker in Milwaukee. Praying
Ooh.
for the safety of President Trump and all those standing up who share our values. God bless America. Vania Castle says, Nicky Jam is awesome. Part of the growing how do you say it? Reggaeton?
Reggaeton. Yeah, I think it's reggaeton.
Latin music genre of Despacito song.
Despacito.
Nama, 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 nama. I don't know the words.
I'm pretty sure those aren't the words, but yes. Yeah.
Karen Marisco also says, I may not be the sharpest tack in the box. However, isn't the page we're on right now theirs? So yes, turn to the Trump page. Love you, chicks. Thanks for saying it out loud and proud. Thank you very much. Let's see. Genius the First over on Local says, an assault weapon is a gun that identifies as an assault weapon.
It's just so ridiculous. They can't define it.
Casa Donata says, Laura Loomer is a disgrace. I am a breast cancer survivor and have Indian grandbabies. She needs to go. Man, I am right there with you. I cannot stand that hag. Osuki says, do you remember when the left said the invasion was Republicans' fault because we talked about it so much? Yeah, that's right. It's always deflection, projection, always.
Yep.
All right, over here, Andrew Huff says, to answer you, Daisy, the algorithm, as much as Elon has tried to correct it, still will downrank, like the S word is replaced with unalived.
Okay, so it's like assassination is what I'm talking about.
Right.
So uicide say they won't let you say that either. It's weird. It's really weird. Like, why can't we just say the things? Kelly asked you, yes, you'll be able to see Henry on Wednesday. So it'll be at the beginning of the show. So I have to do it at the beginning because they have to go take a kid to school. My husband's taking him to, so yeah, we'll just bring him in here and I'll hold him up like Lion King.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Shannon Pope says YouTube won't let you put libtard either. So
really?
You have to put like an around sign or an at sign instead of the A.
That's so weird. Like, I just feel like we should be able to say all the words. This is America, man.
Right?
It's so dumb.
I know.
I have a problem with all of that. There shouldn't be any suppression of speech anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we may not like it, but some of it is bad, but they're words. This is America. Stop it.
Yeah, it's the bad speech that we have the First Amendment for.
Right.
That's the whole point.
Exactly, Miriam. Yeah.
Leah Shalek says, Donald Trump, Israel's greatest friend, is protected by the same worker of miracles that has protected Israel for 76 years. God bless Trump. Yeshua Koach. Am I saying that right? Koach? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Laura Kate Baker says, mock President Trump deserves to live his life. We cannot live in terror. Can't let the terrorists win. The media is blaming Trump. Yes, they are. It's ridiculous. I know. I know that he shouldn't hide. I'm just saying there's the part of me that worries so much about him that I wish he would. I know he can't, but you know what I mean? I just worry is all.
And I'm the total opposite. I'm like, he should just be like, I'm out and about.
Like holding up fingers all the time.
All the time. Right.
Judith Leister says RFK Jr. brought focus to the potential involvement of pharmaceuticals in the trans shooters and other violent criminals. Love to you both. Reba Henry says Trump is not a threat. It's the people who hate him who are the threat. Yep.
Yeah.
Jushalia says Dems always hear the racist dog whistle, but never the real threats. Exactly.
Oh
right. They're always like,
so true.
Feelings.
So
Brian
true.
Brumley says I learned a long time ago that truth is funnier than fiction. Andrea Cleaver says, my grandma is in the hospital fighting for her life with West Nile virus. Doctor says he hasn't seen a case in 10 years. I believe this is from illegals in our country from all over the world, and I'm furious.
Very interesting, and I'm so sorry.
That is awful. I wonder where you are, because I know West Nile is a mosquito-borne thing. So I'm curious where she is.
Isn't that didn't Fauci have that?
Yeah, that's what he had. And he's like way up in is he Connecticut or something?
Yeah. Fauci had it. And yeah, I guess he was fine, but still he's not older. I'm so sorry that that's happening.
Fauci's pretty old.
Oh, you're right. He is like 80, isn't he? He is. Yeah, you're right. He is. I just don't think 80 is like super old.
Yeah.
These days.
I mean, it depends on the 80-year-old. You got either Biden or you got Trump. Very, very different ages.
Very different. Yeah.
Veteran Smitty, thank you. He says JD is like Trump in that he has no problem telling the MSM to butt out with their opinion and listen to his answers.
He does it in a very diplomatic way, though. Mm-hmm. Like Mock would be that way if she were being interviewed. She would be very HR about it. And I'm learning now that the way to do it is to keep saying the person's name. I think that's super effective. It kind of just like puts them in their place a little. Yeah. Talk about bringing the temperature down. And I would be like, Jane, you ignorant slut. Which is the difference. Mm-hmm.
Robin Zecca says, but Doug Emhoff, here's my money. I don't know what that means. But Doug Emhoff, here's my money.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but thank you, Robin.
Yes.
Rachel Gerhart says, I don't know if I want Trump to debate. A week after each debate, they're taking literal shots at him. Don't know how I feel about third time being a charm. I mean, she's got a point. There's something about those debates, man. They set people off. Curio23 says that's a dominatrix suit about Kamala's
About
dress.
the black dress. Yeah.
LH Star says her unburdening is a Marxist mantra.
I mean,
yeah, she says it every chance she gets.
It's craziness.
It is nuts. Dushalia says Trump is so brat.
I don't even understand what that means.
I don't either. Stuart the Brit says if you join a group or gathering, Taylor Swift, you lose your voice. What?
I don't know what that means either.
If you join a group or gathering, Taylor Swift, you lose your voice.
Okay.
Okay, I don't get that.
Maybe it's because you're blending in and become like part of a group, a lobotomized group of people, like because you're
maybe.
Okay.
Lisa says, I think this is your best show ever. Take my money.
Well,
wow.
that's sweet.
That's super nice.
Yeah.
And Erica Eisenring says, in a Jeep parade with Trump decorated Jeep this weekend, lots of triggered libs, but more cheers from the crowd. Liberal town of Eureka Springs, Arkansas.
I love that. I did a boat parade 2 weekends ago, and there were a lot of Jeep people there.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah, that's kind of like the thing. They all kind of get together, like the Jeep people and the boat people. They all are together, you know? Yeah, it was super fun.
Well, we are just under the 2-hour mark by about 5 seconds. So look at us go.
Awesome. You guys bring it in. We got through
We had
Monday.
a big crowd today. There was like 9,400 people in here.
Really? Oh my God. That's fantastic. So happy to have you guys. And we will have a wonderful Monday and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye everybody.